If you were given a mystery basket of ingredients and an entire homebrew supply store to play with, what would you make? This is Will It Beer, where we challenge brewers in our area to do just that. So first, let's go grab some ingredients, and then we'll introduce our brewers for today. I'm at the store right now, and we're gonna be looking for some ingredients here. I'm gonna kind of just walk around and figure out what might work as a whole theme. I wanna do everything kind of together. So I want it to be one food item that fits all the ingredients that I use. Okay, so my thought is to go with the theme of muffins, and so I'm gonna go ahead and start by just grabbing some blueberry muffin mix, and then we're gonna build some other ingredients with stuff kind of similar to that. So anything that can fit the muffin theme, I'm gonna go ahead and grab. I was able to also find some canned blueberries on the same aisle. So maybe we'll go with blueberry themed muffins, but I'm not, I might try to find some other stuff to throw a wrench in the works a little bit too. I don't want everything to be super blueberry-y. Look at how moist those eggplants are. I'm gonna go ahead and grab some carrot juice too. All right, just to bring it all together, let's go ahead and get some actual muffins too. I'm gonna get blueberry and poppy seed, and we'll give them an option of what they want to actually brew with.
Otherwise, select your method of payment.
Now that we've got our ingredients, let's introduce today's brewers. We have Steve Moss from For the Love of God Brewing and Alex Roush from Four Eyed Guys Brewing. Let's meet them.
Okay, my name's Steve Moss, and I'm the owner head brewer of For the Love of God Brewing.
Hi, I'm Alex Roush. I am the owner and head brewer of Four Eyed Guys Brewing Company.
So at this point, we gave these guys a few minutes to think this all over, and I think they both initially had the same kind of Great Notion vibe where it could be like a blueberry muffin sour. But let's hear what they had to say when they actually took some time to think about their strategy.
I am probably just going to go with a blueberry muffin sour with carrot juice. Because of all this carrot juice, I'm tempted to do something maybe a little more carrot cakey, but I'm not sure how that would go with the blueberry. So we'll kind of see how it all pans out in the long run.
I got two ideas for this mystery beer. I'm either going to do a Hefeweizen or an IPA. What am I going to do with 39 3/4 carrots? I don't really know. Maybe if it was an even 40.
When it comes to malt, Steve opted to go with some Pilsen malt as the base with a little bit of wheat and flaked oats to add body. He also used some biscuit malt to give it a bready middle and some honey malts to help round out the sweetness and give you that pie crust vibe. Alex, on the other hand, opted to go with a base wheat because he is making a Hefeweizen. He complemented that with a little bit of two-row for a neutral middle, Pilsen malt for extra graininess and enzymes, and then also used biscuit and honey malts to give you that pie crust kind of feel. And he opted to add a little bit of Caribbean to round out the sweetness and make sure that there was enough body for his beer. Now that we got all the malts out of the way, let's get a quick Hefeweizen pun from Alex.
Well, because it's a Hefe, this beer is going to be bananas. All right, so now these guys are filling up their hot water, and Steve actually is doing some water chemistry, which is really interesting to me. Nobody else has done that before.
I think it was, Rachel did a little bit of it because she used our stuff and tried to wait, what's your pH at? Should I add a little bit of whatever? But he actually brought his own equipment and his own tools to make sure it did it right.
Impressive.
Yeah. It's always fun when this gets to this stage because seeing brewers work on small scales that they're not really used to working on, it's kind of like if you were to put a home brewer on a big commercial scale and say, go ahead and brew.
Yeah, so Steve's mash went pretty straightforward. He took that kettle sour approach going into the day, so that was really interesting right there. He actually just put his carrot juice straight into his beer wort as he started cooling it down. I love the giant amount of yogurt he puts in this thing.
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous.
Which that's a different strategy than we usually use. We have usually use acid malt as an inoculant, but yogurt works too. It's got the same lactobacillus stuff in there.
Yeah,
he's purging it with CO2 to make sure that it's all anaerobic. And then he's done for the day. The next part's gonna come back tomorrow.
Bye, Steve.
Bye. And everything was slated to start out well with Alex's brew as well, but sometimes big scale brewers find out that on small scale systems,
I got grains in here.
Stuff happens.
I need help. Yeah, I need a strainer. Don't be fooled, kids. This is how the pros recirculate and do mash. I think it's cute Steve does it this way.
So I would have done the same thing. I would have put the muffins in the mash. I think that's the right spot for them. You get some more conversion. Hopefully you get some starchiness off of it. So what Alex ended up doing to get some of his ingredients in is he actually mixed all of his ingredients together and then threw his yeast in there to see if it would start and get a little extra activity on its yeast. Definitely not something that any of us have done before, but in theory it was a good idea. And
unconventional, but it did work.
Yeah, let's see.
It was bubbling away by the time you pitched it. So
exactly. So the yeast is definitely going into the beer, and I think it's a strategy. It works. It gets the ingredients in the beer. Yeah. At the end of the mash, all I did is, basically get the water heated up to near boil before he finished taking his mash out there and, being done sparging and everything like that.
I'm just doing 1 ounce of German Herzbrucker, 2.3% alpha fats. This is something very, very low, not conspicuous. And then just trying to choose these hops because it's going to help showcase the carrot juice and blueberry ingredients that we have. Alrighty, here comes the hops.
And I think the orange peel and the cinnamon actually are a good idea to kind of help.
That, yeah.
Punch up that spiciness and really add to that carrot theme. If you're going for the breadiness from the muffins and then the flavor from the carrot, the spice makes a lot of sense to kind of tie that together. This is the part that I think was a little bit of a mistake. That bag is very fine mesh.
Especially in that bag.
Yeah, that bag is very fine mesh, so that's gonna cake to the bottom. It's gonna be really, really difficult to get that sparged out.
And just the last bit of the German Herzbrucker.
See, the starter actually ended up going pretty well here. It did start the yeast. Again, probably not the best medium for the yeast to be in.
It gotta be the most interesting colored yeast starter I've ever seen. That's for sure.
The reason I have this sample poured on top is I will be fermenting under pressure. 1050. Oh my God.
So it's finally pulling that bag out. I think Peter might have mentioned something earlier about that cake batter in there.
Yeah, definitely not the easiest way. Very, very heavy and full of a lot of liquid, so there was some finagling that went into trying to get all that out. And this is where...
Hey, you guys did it though. You guys got it done.
We definitely got it out.
Had to have a little assist, but...
And that's a wrap to my brew day. Everything went great.
I'm gonna add in these blueberry muffins. I'm gonna cut them up as fine as I can. Throw it in the pitcher, throw in these blueberries, throw in the other blueberries, and throw in this delicious looking powder. So let's get going.
So he actually, to get all his ingredients in there, he basically made a giant jumbled mixture, concoction of all this. And obviously looking at him touching it with his bare hands, you're gonna say, well, how can he possibly get that mixture sanitary? So yeah, what he does is when he's got this whole mixture in here, all purple and goopy like that, you actually just take a drop of Star San and through Star San and the whole thing.
So we added juice yeast from Imperial yeast. I use it for most of my sours. I really like the contribution it adds and kind of a bit of fruitiness to it, which I think is really nice, especially since I'm adding fruit in most of my sours anyways. And also I feel like it maintains like a good amount of haze, which I like for the mouthfeel in those.
So after that, basically both beers fermented out. Like Alex said, he did a pressure ferment on his, and then Steve's just was a normal fermentation with a blow off, and then we went into spunding probably 2 to 3 days later when it was almost done fermenting. We gave it another week to kind of rest and make sure it was all fermenting, and then we kegged it. After that, we just spent a couple days carbonating it and putting it on tap. So let's go to the tasting and see what they think. We are back. The beer is now ready to drink, so we're gonna go ahead and give this a good taste test, and we're gonna look for 2 different things. One is how well the blueberry muffin and carrot juice came together as an ingredient in the beer, so how well the ingredients are represented. And then 2 is going to be the overall best beer. Let's go ahead and start with this one and dive in and see what we think. Yeah, the color, this one actually does come with a little bit of pinkish hue. It's got some color to it that's not just regular beer color.
I think the muffin comes across very well. I'm not tasting any carrot.
And the first one, the thing that screams, like, to me is going to be that blueberry. Like it kind of tastes like a smoothie a little bit, or like the blueberry flavor that you get in a smoothie. But I think that's partly brought out by the fact that it is a sour, and blueberries are naturally acidic, and so it kind of like, boop.
Yeah, very bright.
Gives it a soft lob. Here's that blueberry flavor. I like the semi-dryness of it. I think with the acidity it works out.
I think it's clean.
Yeah, I don't know. I almost do feel like I get a little bit of that carrot on the very back end.
You think so?
The nose, though, to me is like straight, like blueberry muffin.
It's muffin, yeah.
Like, Like the nose is really nice. It drinks more clean.
Yeah.
But the nose is like, yeah, this tastes kind of, or smells like a blueberry muffin. But then you drink it and it drinks a little different for sure. But
it's literally a clean beer. Get it?
No, we don't.
No. It's more like it's a very sanitary beer.
No, I feel like in the middle I'd get less malt middle than maybe I want. I don't know if I want more malt middle, but I do think it lacks a little bit of a malt middle. All right, let's jump into the next beer.
First off, the head retention's terrible.
Oh my god.
Should have used Star San on yours.
I should have used Star San. A little pro tip for you.
The esterification is a big part of what comes across.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. I get that it's obviously a Bavarian yeast that's been used. You get some banana. There's a phenolic components to it, for sure.
Yeah, like Belgian yeast sort of character.
That said, I think the breadiness comes out. There's a breadiness in this that I think maybe more reminiscent of a muffin.
I'm not sure how much the carrot goes across too, because like the only time I used the carrot was I mixed the blueberries and carrot juice together to do a yeast starter.
I do think though, if you think about carrots when you drink this, you kind of taste carrot a little bit.
Same with carbonation.
But if you didn't know that there was any carrot in this, you wouldn't be like, oh, there's carrot.
Right.
I feel like the first time I tried it, like a couple of weeks ago, I feel like the cinnamon and the orange peel were definitely more prevalent. Doesn't seem like something that would age out, but apparently it did.
I still get a little bit of the cinnamon. I do think the oranginess, I could taste that more. It helps pop the blueberry muffin kind of feel. I get less blueberry on this one than I get on the sour.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think so. Well, I appreciate the body on both of them. This one has a much more like robust body to it. This one, Steve Sours, is very, very crushable and clean. A lot lighter bodied.
I really like what you said about this being like a fall beer. Like when I think about like leaves turning and like cooler weather, and I'm like, this is like a great beer for that season. Mine came out like definitely lighter even than what I was anticipating.
Yeah.
And well, I have no idea what you were anticipating with yours, but it definitely has this like almost
Stuck my arm in it 3 times.
almost Oktoberfest kind of like. I don't get a lot of carrot from either one.
Yeah.
And I don't mind. I actually don't like carrots at all, to be honest. So the fact that I don't get a lot of carrot doesn't bother me at all.
It bothers me. I wanted to have some carrot. I thought it was like a unique ingredient. Like I feel like going back, we could have. I personally would have kegged it and then
Dose it with more carrot.
dry carroted it.
I can see a carrot cake kind of thing.
Yeah, like
coming
carrot
through a
cake,
little
yeah.
bit with
I feel like the flavors in here in Alex's definitely like remind me of a carrot cake without actually having to like without
carrots.
without the carrot flavor. I also wanted the carrot flavor. I think that's a really fun ingredient, and we've been trying to figure out ways to put it in our beer too. That's one of the reasons what it came up into what you guys had to brew with.
I personally think mine is more unique than Steve's, but if I were at a bar, I would order Steve's.
See, I do think Alex's is more reminiscent of carrot. I don't know that I really get like a strong carrot flavor.
No.
But there is something about it that makes me like when I drink it, like I could picture carrots and be like, yeah, there's carrots in here.
Yeah.
The blueberry and the muffin character, I think, come through definitely more in mine.
Yeah.
Especially on the nose.
If you think of the muffin qualities, like the breadiness, and if you think of the carrot, then the Heffy definitely kind of has that lean. But if you think of the blueberries and like when I remember smelling opening that blueberry packet, like this definitely reminds me of
Krusty's, by the way.
I would probably give which one represents the ingredients to the sour, just because it so reminds me of that blueberry.
Steve wins.
I like them both though.
Shut up.
Thanks so much for watching, everybody. If you want to check out these two people, we will link all their social medias below. Again, For the Love of God and Four Eyed Guys Brewing Companies, awesome brewers in the Spokane area. We love being able to reach out to the community, and we love being able to give professional brewers a chance to go back to those home brewing basics like we were saying. If you like this video, be sure to give a thumbs up on it, and then also subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time for another Will It Beer
Challenge.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, double cheers. Wow. Okay.
Oh.
Fade to black. Or, yeah.